Welcome, and today on Focus Gaming News, we're speaking to Martyn Hannah, Director of the marketing agency Ghostfoundry. Hello Martyn, welcome, thanks for joining us.
Hi Joe, thank you for having me.
It's good to have you here, and you're going to speak to us today particularly about content marketing and how that can help gaming companies in particular, at a time that, well, a lot of companies are looking quite seriously at their marketing budgets, revising budgets because of, well, this unprecedented situation this year. Perhaps you could begin just by telling us a little bit what content marketing is.
Yeah, so content marketing is a type of marketing that focuses around the creation of content. So whether that be written content, audio content, video content, and using that to engage, entertain, and educate potential customers, clients, players. It differs slightly to other types of marketing in that kind of the driving force behind it is that you provide sort of insight, information, answer questions that people are searching for answers for, and there's no immediate sort of desire to convert that into a sale or a lead. It's kind of a building trust or building a relationship with people over time. It works well because in doing that you sort of form a relationship with your readers or viewers or whatever, that's sort of more genuine and honest than perhaps seeing an advert in a magazine spread or a pop-up advert on a YouTube video or something like that. So it's slightly different to other forms of marketing. It's very creative, it's very fun, it takes different formats, but given the right attention to it and the right ideas behind it and the right planning behind it, it's a very powerful tool for companies, all sorts of companies in the sector to use.
What makes it so effective, perhaps so effective for gaming companies in particular?
I think it's the fact that it builds that sort of genuine relationship. We've all read articles that have perhaps been placed as an advertorial or watched TV adverts. We all know how they work, in that there's an intent behind that the company that's created the article or published the advert they want you to buy something. So with content marketing, it's all about offering that value up front with no immediate expectation in return. So I guess this YouTube channel is a great example of sort of a type of content marketing. A developer, for example, a game developer that wants to showcase their games to players or operators, there's many ways, or traditional marketing ways they could do that. An alternative option, what would be considered content marketing, would be to create a streaming channel or something like that. So instead of sort of hard selling to operators, they can showcase their games using a streamer. It's more fun, it's more natural. People would just enjoy watching the content anyway, but that allows the operator or the casino manager to sort of see the games being played, and it's more effective. I just think it's more effective than a hard sell type of marketing that you can do.
Mm-hmm. And we should probably talk about investment then. How does it compare, would you say, in terms of investment in time and, of course, financially as well with other forms of marketing?
Well, the great thing about content marketing is that it can be sort of done to any budget. So, like we said, or you said at the start, all businesses in the sector are having to reevaluate what they spend on marketing. Content marketing is something you can do in-house. You can do it yourself. If you've got the right team in place and the right talent in place and the right amount of time to do it, you can do it for next to nothing. If it's uploading content to your website, for example, if you're a cybersecurity company and you want to start working with developers and operators in the space, you can create your own content hub. You can write articles around, the cybersecurity threats that are emerging, provide the answers to those threats, or provide solutions or advice. It's just your time that you need to invest in it. Taking the cybersecurity example, the people behind that company are experts in the space. They know what needs to be done, and they can use a blog or a content hub or any other sort of platform that they think would engage with who they're targeting and create their content and distribute it that way. So you can do it for a very small budget. Obviously that then scales up to the other side. where if you want to churn out a lot of content across a load of different platforms to a really wide audience, it's going to take more time, and it's probably going to need some financial investment too.
But in many cases, the themselves have the knowledge, they have the expert knowledge that's there to be communicated, do you think?
Yeah, exactly. So whoever you are, whichever business you're running in this sector, whether you're an operator, a supplier, an affiliate, you have the knowledge, you understand your business, you understand what you can offer. And this is where it differs to content marketing, differs to more traditional marketing, is that you're giving away some of that information without an expectation of anything back, but you don't have to give everything away. You give enough away that you genuinely can provide assistance or answer a question, but ultimately, and this is why it works over time, the person engaging with that information slowly realizes that you're probably the best person to do what you're trying to help them do.
Do you have any tips for how to do it well then?
Yeah, so it's all around planning, really. Content is it can be like falling down a black hole when you're first starting out. People don't know where to begin, what sort of platforms you should be publishing on. Do you do video? Do you do audio? Do you do written? Do you do all three? So you need to take a strategic approach to it. Driving that should be a real clear understanding of who you're trying to target and where their attention sits. So we used the example before of a game developer. If they're trying to push their games to players or market their games to players, don't spend too much time trying to secure thought leadership articles in B2B publications. Find out where your player attention is. It might be that it's on YouTube, Twitch, it might be somewhere else. Once you've got that understanding, then you can figure out what sort of content you need to be creating. So in that example, it would be video content. And then from there, you kind of need to build a plan around how, like what topics that content needs to cover, what games it needs to cover. Is there anything you want to highlight in particular? And then from that, once you've got your plan in place, it's just a case of kind of doing it, really. We always say with a plan, try and keep it sort of 6 months at most. So plan for half a year, but then break it down to month segments. So don't overwhelm yourself. Have a master plan, but then just take it bit by bit, and always be ready to be flexible because things change all the time. It might be that again, I'll use a cybersecurity example. If you want to write about a certain threat that you think might be of interest to developers, that might change and another threat might emerge, and you might just need to tweak what you're saying and what you're writing about or what you're trying to communicate. So it's just a case of being flexible, really.
Are there any particular pitfalls that companies should be aware of, or perhaps particularly that you've seen among gaming companies using content marketing?
I think there's sometimes quantity takes over from quality. With content, it really is about the quality of it. Don't just create huge volumes of stuff that people aren't going to engage with. Underlying all of this must be the realization that your content has to provide value. So the minute it stops providing value, people are not going to engage with it. If someone can't learn something from an article that they're reading, or if they can't watch a streaming channel and be entertained, they're just going to switch off. So the key thing is, no matter what you're doing, always think about the person that's going to be engaging with it. And that ultimately goes back to the purpose of content marketing, which is you're trying to provide something of value to someone that ultimately you would like to buy your products and services, but that's not the aim of the game. That's not what you're out to do initially. You're out to provide something of value to them that does create a sort of a relationship or even loyalty over time. So it's just trying to take that mindset. It can be quite difficult when people are so used to marketing being an immediate driver of sales or of more clients or click-throughs or whatever. So it's just a bit of a change in mindset. And once you've got your head around that, you can then really see the long-term value of it. So if you take the example of an affiliate, they're often SEO led. They create content that they want to rank in Google results. It takes a while for that content to rank anyway, but once it's there, so long as that content is well maintained and updated and cared for, it can stay in place for many, many years. So the long-term value of that one page is quite significant, but it just takes a while for it to get to the point where the traffic to that page is high. And also, not everyone coming to that page is going to immediately convert. They may come back later. They may click around your site a bit more. It's just kind of adopting that long-term mindset with it.
So really you have to be approaching it in a genuine way for itself, rather than thinking about the sale kind of behind it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's still a marketing tool. It's still a marketing sort of method, if you like. But the best content marketing and the most successful content marketing is done from a position of honesty and being genuine with the people you're trying to connect with. People are very savvy. They know when they're being marketed to, when they're being aggressively marketed to. And that's why content marketing has become a thing, is more and more people are aware of these tactics now. So really being honest, genuine, transparent, that's the way forwards. That's what people really do engage with over time, but it just takes a little bit longer. But then the value of that, once it sort of clicks into place, can be much, much higher.
And you mentioned that it's something that companies can look at starting in-house and taking care of themselves. What can other agencies and media provide on top of that?
So I'd say with an agency, if you've got the talent in-house and you've got the time in-house and you've got the budgets and you can do it successfully in-house, there is no need to go and work with an agency. They're not going to really bring anything else to the table. It's a case of, if you don't have that, or you acknowledge there's a gap somewhere. So, you might be very good at making videos, but you understand that some of your target audience, reads B2B magazines, but you're not very good at creating the content to go into those magazines. That's when you might want to look at seeking some help. And that's where an agency can potentially step in and work with you on any gaps that you may have within your own internal team.
Mm-hmm. And how, what sort of things should companies look out for when it comes to trying to find and to choose an agency? And the dynamic of how the work in partnership with an agency actually takes place.
So in terms of or in an agency, obviously within the gambling industry, experience should be a very big thing. You get agencies that will cover all sorts of sectors. The teams that work on those agencies are very skilled, very capable. They'd be great videographers, good podcasters, good writers, but they may lack the knowledge of the industry that is critical to delivering that value, and also the kind of the genuine aspect of the content you create. So an agency with specific industry experiences is the first thing I'd always look for. You also need to kind of consider who's going to be working on your content. So in a big agency, they may employ 100 or so people who is actually going to be working on your account. What are their skills? What are their experience? Or what is their experience? And again, does that tie back to what you need from them? Other things to think about is hero case studies. So some agencies like to push out case studies of incredible campaigns that they've run. And while those campaigns have done very well, the likelihood of that happening for you and your project might not be as, it might not happen like that. A lot of the time with content marketing, it's a bit trial and error. So some stuff does work, some stuff doesn't work. A big hero case study is when it has worked at scale and it's perhaps had a bigger budget behind it than what you could put behind it. So just be wary of those. Don't ignore them. If an agency's got something to sort of showcase, then they've obviously done very well at a campaign, but just be mindful and take it with a pinch of salt. I think more important is to get an idea of whether they really understand your business and what you're trying to achieve in marketing. Do they really understand who your target audience is? Do they really understand how to engage with them? Do they have that knowledge and experience of the industry and all the different parts, especially in the gambling industry, all the different parts that, even market to market, the way you would content market to a player in the UK is different to how you would go about it in America. It's just that they have that complete understanding of the sector and how it works. And then I guess finally, just trust your gut instinct. You often build a rapport with someone, very quickly whether they get you, whether you work well, and just go with that. Just trust what feels right and what feels wrong, and let that guide you as well. And you don't have to work with big agencies. It might be that if you've got a content gap, just bring in a freelancer. You don't have to get sucked into working with a big agency on retainer contracts and things like that. You can bring in just one person or two people or whatever. There's lots of different ways of doing it. But again, if you feel like you can do it in-house, try it in-house first. Don't jump to the other end of the scale, if you like, and take on a big agency and all that. Just try it in-house and just build it out. If you feel like you need help, or you want to go into try a different sort of type of content marketing that you're not equipped to do, so video or streaming, just get help with that little bit. But just make sure it all ties back into your overall strategy and what you're trying to achieve.
Excellent. Well, just finally, what kind of role can specialist B2B media publications like Focus Gaming News, ourselves, play in perhaps the distribution of content marketing?
Yeah, so well, this is a great example. If you're a supplier or an operator and you want to share your thoughts, opinions, discuss topics and trends, a YouTube channel like this is a great platform to do that. The publication itself, the website, thought leaderships. So pick a topic that you're very versed on, share your understanding, share your thoughts, that sort of thing. So long as what you're saying isn't salesy, it is providing genuine value and insight, then platforms such as Focus are ideal for that. And as a content marketer, you're the sorts of people that we obviously work with on a regular basis to provide you with content that you otherwise wouldn't necessarily get. But it also provides the person that's writing it the chance to sort of share their thoughts, opinions, experience, and expertise. So you guys are a real sort of core part of the ecosystem, if you like.
Excellent, great. Well, thanks for taking the time to speak to us, Martyn. Is there anything else you'd like to add to perhaps to any companies that are looking at starting to get involved in content marketing?
Yeah, I'll just say do it now. Obviously, it's been a very strange year so far, and for a lot of people, there's been huge distractions, understandably, and marketing has probably taken a back seat during this time. So now's the time to really refocus, look at your budgets, and if you haven't already, give this a go. It's a great way of engaging customers, players, clients, whoever it is you're targeting, and you can do it yourself. You don't need to throw silly money at it. Just give it a go. I've said before, it's trial and error. Some stuff works, some stuff doesn't. Try it, see what works for you, and if you need assistance, it's available and out there. But just try it yourself.
Brilliant, excellent. Well, thank you, Martyn, and thanks for joining us from Ghostfoundry today. We hope to catch up again sometime, perhaps for another chat sometime in the future.
Definitely. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Martyn.
Yes.